There's a Founders Pack, a Battle Pass, emotes. It's trauma. Yeah, that about sums it up. So Silent Hill is back, guys, just not in the way that we hoped. Silent Hill Ascension launched, and it's essentially an interactive story. And yeah, it's really bad. Not only is it bad in terms of the content itself, but it's essentially monetized like a mobile game. That's right, Silent Hill, the gritty survival horror, now has battle passes and emotes. But let's go over the basics for anyone not caught up on this absolute travesty. Silent Hill Ascension is essentially a web series with a new episode coming every day, and apparently this is going to go on for months, and we get to shape this story by voting on what the characters do in a given situation. When the episodes are being live streamed, we can all watch together like a watch party, emoting and chatting to our heart's content, as well as helping them out in certain situations that are called endurance events, which seem to be difficult situations where we need to click and choose things to help them through it, and if we don't, they could eventually die. Of course, the appeal of all this is that we are choosing who lives or dies, who finds redemption and who doesn't, and ultimately the developers apparently don't even know how the story will end because we are choosing it as it goes. In concept, this doesn't actually sound too bad, and the episodes themselves are fine. I mean, I love horror in general, so I'm never averse to watching some horror with some monsters. But that's before you peel back the layers of this absolute nonsense, and you realise how cheap this all feels, especially when you contextualise it within the Silent Hill series. There are issues with the content itself, but the true horror of Silent Hill Ascension isn't found within the story, it is found within the monetization. And yeah, seriously, brace yourself for the monetization. But firstly, let's go over the content itself. As is a reoccurring issue with Silent Hill, following the first four, Silent Hill Ascension is trying to tell us that it is a poignant piece of art, by telling us that it is, instead of earning it through its writing. In the intro cinematic, the developers go out their way to tell us that this game is about suppressed guilt and trauma.
Silent Hill Ascension follows characters from locations around the world tormented by new and terrifying Silent Hill monsters. Lurking in the shadows, these monsters threaten to consume people and their children as they're drawn into the darkness by both recent murders and long-suppressed guilt and fears.
As well as there being a "it's trauma" emote. It's trauma? What is this? I can't even process what this emote is even for. What's next? A PTSD Fortnite dance? So yeah guys, Silent Hill Ascension is about suppressed trauma. It's going to be really powerful stuff because they've told us it will be. Anyway, the story seems to follow two families in different parts of the globe, one in Norway and one in America, being haunted by Silent Hill remotely. The family in Norway is a family with some real issues, and the one in America is essentially a cult called the Foundation. We don't know much more beyond that at the time of recording anyway, because there's only been about 3 episodes that are about 8 minutes long each. Positives? The monsters are decent, I guess. I wouldn't mind these types of cinematics in a game. I just don't really know why these families are being assaulted in their homes. They're also really weird. I know that Silent Hill is meant to have this dreamlike quality and so people act weird, but these people are still in the real world in this case. They aren't actually in Silent Hill. And I think the writing's just bad here. For example, the story surrounding the cult is that they were performing a ritual on one of the members, and she died, got eaten by a monster. So in essence, the cult is responsible for her death, at least that's how it would appear to the outside world. And this would be horrible in the real world, and they're acting really kind of off about it. The woman who dies had a brother, and the brother hates the cult, obviously. And the woman who was responsible for essentially having this woman die because she was there with her, doing the ritual with her, says that she's going to send her husband to speak with the woman's brother, instead of having the decency to go herself. And instead of offering anything tangible or condolences, she writes him a prayer? A cult prayer from the cult that he hates? And then obviously when the husband goes to speak to the brother's not best pleased. But it just all comes off really odd. All the characters are acting in very strange ways. The woman who's the cult leader at some moments seems to be really upset, but then instead of being a human, she sends her husband to do her dirty work for her and gives the guy a prayer as if to trigger him more. And then obviously when he goes to speak to the woman's brother, the brother is upset, but he's upset for about 2 seconds and then just turns around being an NPC again. If this happened to me, if someone was responsible for the death of my sister in a cult that I hated, and then the cult member responsible didn't even come to see me in person, and instead gave me a cult prayer via her husband, I would probably beat that husband into a coma. It just feels very stilted and weird. I don't know if they're trying to do it on purpose to emulate that sort of Silent Hill 2 weird dialogue, but it's just not working. I don't know if it's the animations or the writing or the acting, it's just coming across as odd. But yeah, whatever, the cinematics and the content itself is probably the least offensive part about this entire project. So remember I mentioned you can get an It's Trauma emote? And you might be asking, where do the emotes come into play? Well, that's because every new episode is live streamed, where we can all watch and emote and react together, and it looks like this. This is new Silent Hill, everyone. This just looks so bad. Anyway, it's the mechanisms of live voting and watching that is leveraged for monetization with Silent Hill Ascension. The surrounding monetization is god-awful. I cannot emphasize that enough. To start with, you have an avatar and have very limited customization. But not to worry, you can get more hair and outfits through the Founders Pack. Yay! All yours for just $20. UK lot, we are getting absolutely boned because it's also £20. Good grief. And through this battle pass, you can earn new aesthetics, new emotes, so that's really great. So that's the aesthetic part, but that's not even the worst part about the monetization. The worst part is the IP, or influence point system. As I've mentioned, the whole point of Silent Hill Ascension is to vote right, to make sure that you can vote on what you want to happen, whether they do good things or bad things. But not everyone's vote is equal, dear viewer, because you vote with a digital currency called IP, and the more IP you put into your decision, the more you influence it. So if I want someone to die, I could put 1,000 IP into it. Now, you can earn IP for free. I did by watching some of the episodes and doing a couple of tasks like any good mobile game. But of course, there's the option to get out your wallet. Want to be more influential? Want to win a cameo in an episode with your spruced up avatar appearing in it? Well, have no fear, because you can buy as much IP as your wallet can handle. Meaning you can pay to have this series go the way you want it, competing against other whales. I don't really need to say anything else on this, this is just abominable. There are other puzzles, I've only played one because, yes, you guessed it, some of the other puzzles are locked behind the battle pass, at least for now. The puzzles, the one I played, are really bad, and they reward you with pitiful amounts of IP. Oh wait, there are higher levels I can play, maybe they've got more IP. Ah, the higher levels are also locked behind a battle pass, I see. So yeah, this is the glorious return to Silent Hill many of us were wanting, I'm sure. I'm already skeptical about the Bloober remake of Silent Hill 2, and now I'm just hoping that Silent Hill Townfall is something new and fresh by someone who actually cares about making good games. That's it for now. I don't really have much else to say. It's pretty sad. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below about this new thrilling entry into the franchise. But until next time guys, I'm just going to go back and play Silent Hill 1. Have a nice night.